We will be on that. Hey everybody, welcome back to Brothers with Opinions. I'm your host Tony Dinges, and here with Chris Tucker.
What's up?
So we're about to have a big time guest on here. Hopefully here in a few minutes.
Big shots action.
Yeah, let me send the invite real quick.
There you go.
And hopefully Kevin jumps on. So we'll see, bro. But how you been, Chris?
I'm good, man. I'm stuffed.
You're stuffed from what?
Yeah, I ate this chicken biscuit little thing and some potatoes. It was good, man. But yeah, I'm stuffed. Sitting here drinking the Gatorade now.
I get them electrolytes.
They ain't even good for you, but I like the taste of it sometimes.
Hey, Gatorade's good in moderation. We'll say that. Don't drink it all the time. But yeah, hey everybody, welcome back to Brothers with Opinions. I think we're going to have our guest, Kevin Schneider, one of the owners, directors, president, whatever his title is, Big Shots AAU. So we'll talk Arby's Classic because he helped run that the other weekend that Haley played in down in Bristol, Virginia, and then we'll talk Big Shot their AAU circuit they run for AAU programs. They do a lot of big things for kids. So Kevin will jump on with us. Chris, let's talk about before Kevin gets on, we talk about local athletes and games. Yeah, it had Hanley is what 6-2 right now is their record, I believe.
7-2.
7-2.
Yeah, because they beat James Wood.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off of them. What was it, 89 to 39 or
50 or 60.
Yeah, something they won by 50.
But shout out to their bench that stepped up and played big. I guess there was people out sick and stuff, not including Will, who's already out.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was out? Because obviously Kyron, Javon, and Christian balled out. But so was Amari out? Was Isaiah out? What happened?
Isaiah Baxter was out. He got a concussion, and I didn't know it happened when they played Millbrook. Somehow he hit his head, got a concussion. So he missed that, but I think he's cleared and he's fine to go, for tomorrow night versus Skyline. So from what I hear. But yeah, I mean, hey, I got to say, even though James Wood, we know, they don't have much, whatever, but hey, Haley, team ball all around that game. So, but hey, here's Kevin. We don't want to take too much of his time. Let's get him on here.
There you go.
Yep. Hey, Kevin, what's up?
What's up, bud?
Good. I'm glad you could jump on and we could talk. Arby's Classic, AAU, all that stuff. So hopefully some parents and kids are listening to this. Give them a little bit of advice too. So,
if not, man, they can always tune back in, man. But we appreciate you having you on, sir.
Right.
Take your time out your day to speak with us, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me on, and Tony, enjoyed spending time with you and the Hanley crew. Arby's Classic, exciting event. One we plan to do annually, and distant host that in Bristol.
Did Hanley go down there?
Hanley was there that weekend, and
because I didn't see any wins from them.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
They had some production, though. I thought Christian.
I went to Hanley too, so I got to pick on them, man.
There you go.
Oak Hill's expected, but I'm a little disappointed. I know it's tough after that big thing, but got to pick on them. But definitely glad they played in it, man, because I'm sure that's going to help them out down the road.
Yeah, the competition was very good. The whole tournament, and I thought Hanley did well. I thought Christian Dingus, obviously.
Hold on, stop you there, Kevin. We got to get his last name right because it's Dinges.
Dingus forever.
Oh, hey, trust me, I heard it my whole life. So
that's that waffle spot we have up here.
Great. I thought he really impressed coaches that was there. We had a nice college coaches turnout.
Y'all, because who was out there? What, Ohio State, I think, showed up, a big D1.
Yeah, we had Ohio State, Andy, several D2s throughout the region.
Right.
Navy was there. I think Navy was very impressed with them. And but I thought Briscoe shot it well, and Zach's got a nice squad, man. They got a team. Once Will gets back in the fold, I think they'll have a shot to make a run at it. Will's probably as good as any shooter in the state,
right?
Regardless of that. So exciting event, and I think one that as a group, Virginia High was an outstanding host. Arby, obviously being a country, was very hands-on involved, and one that I think for the whole state of Virginia as well as that tri-city region, man, it's just a fun basketball atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean they have a nice school there, a nice facility. Because Christian was even like, Dad, they're only like division, what are they, 2A or something? He's like, but their gym is huge.
Yeah.
They do it bigger in the South.
I tell you that gym may be the best facility in the state of Virginia. I mean,
right, yeah,
cool vibe, great clock, setups with the scoreboards, and you got it kind of has an old school vibe,
right.
But I thought the crowd was in it. Tri-Cities Christian being a local team, B.W.O kill. I thought that was a good upset the event, and made a run to the championship, and just came up short to Ridgeview out of Columbia, who's won 4 out of the last 5 state titles. They're a top 25 team nationally.
Right.
And, but fun event, man. Really cool to see players that played in our Big Shots events throughout the season or many years shine on that type of stage.
Yeah, so tell everybody a little bit about Big Shots, what you guys do for everybody, with your events and everything.
Yeah, we host now year 21. We're in year 21. Right. Hosting events started in 2006. Just grown to where we had 19 teams in that first event. Had a good group of guys. We had like John Waller, Kimball Walker, Ty Lawson, some really good players in that first year. But it's grown to where we have over 4,500 teams annually. Right. Nationwide, hosts 38 events. We host 11 events throughout the state of Virginia, but also, in various cities in the country. We've had over 3 billion scholarships, monies earned over that course of time, and now 382 guys in the NBA. So it's been fun to see the course of how it's gone over the years. We're family operated. I run it with Jeff Schneider, my dad, and Bryce, my brother. A great staff, very heavily involved with the scouting aspect. We take a lot of time in helping players get to the right levels, and have a great staff that's been involved in the game. Some have coached at the Division I levels. Parents of players, a lot of them are players that played in our events. We have each year probably about 30 alums that come back and trying to get into the game after they're done with their playing career, and it's a great outlet for them to network and figure out the next chapter once the ball stops bouncing. So but exciting, it's exciting, and we enjoy helping players, around the country.
Right, because I definitely appreciate you guys, because I've been involved for going on 4 years, maybe 5 now. Started with another team, but I feel you guys do. The events are great. They're well ran. One is you feel safe. Security's there. So big thing. But yeah, you guys, I feel, do a great job in exposure and everything, helping these kids.
I take a lot of pride in the safety of the events. I think in today's game, you want to be able to go to the venues that we're in are probably the premier venues on the East Coast, and we just want to provide every opportunity to these players, especially in a safe environment.
Right. So a few questions. So on the AAU aspect, we'll get on that. I get a lot, with exposure and all that, and people like what events to play in, the wrong ones, the right ones. So what's the difference? What separates you guys from other tournaments out there?
Yeah, I think there's, I'm a pro event director. I think doing events in general is not easy. I think now the longevity in year 21, we've adapted with time. I think recruiting with the additional new venues, added security, added technology. I mean, we didn't even have Twitter or Instagram or any of this stuff.
Right.
For starting. I think the one thing we have is our reputation's there with helping players of all levels. I think that's definite. And the experience we have. I think a lot of us have played, coached at various levels, and people know if we have players that are playing our event that we're going to shoot straight for players at a certain level. We're not going to overhype players just to get a like or a team coming back.
Right.
But I think the one thing with recruiting, I think recruiting is becoming even more regional. I talked with Ohio State and spent a lot of time with those guys at the Arby's and how's recruiting going? How's the portal? Because we're attacking Ohio hard, obviously, and then trying to get guys, national ranked players through connections of coaches and head coach at various stops, like Jay Smith out of Charlotte, through Joel Justice, and so then you hit the portal. So I think as recruiting change, I think events have to be very aggressive on how they operate and helping push players, and helping them find the right fit. So that's something we've done. We cater to all levels. If it's Tusculum rolling in, we talk to them as much as we would talk to Ohio State, because players need outlets. Navy needed help with finding their prep team.
Right.
So as the games change, recruiting change, I think we try and be an outlet for parents like yourself, coaches like you, and your program. So
right.
Very hands-on in how we operate. I think one thing that you could say about our business, you're not going to walk in and say there's not a Schneider there. It's a hands-on operation. You're not going to have somebody else just running the event. When you come to our events, you know who's there. We want to get to know you, get to know your players and your parents, and I think and your high school coaches. And as a unit, I think provide the best opportunity to get to that next level. So that's our operation in a whole. I can talk all day about kind of recruiting.
Right. Well, yeah, because that leads to the transfer portal and all that. Because like my son Chris, for example, getting frustrated, because he's not getting these offers that he feels he should be getting, this and that. Why is other kids getting offers? Blah blah blah. So I guess explain to parents too, whoever's listening, the recruiting process. Because of course I'm going through it with probably my 16U team. Because they all feel that they should be getting an offer right out of somewhere, but the process has changed. Now, high schools are low the totem because even with the G League rule now, they can come back and go to college, which really threw a wrench in everything as well. So if you could explain that to people as well, how hard it is really these days, and basically run your own race.
Control what you can control.
Right.
I think to be patient with the process, but at the same time, recruit the schools that possibly could recruit you. Build that relationship. All this is about relationships. Obviously, we've known each other for many years now, and that's why I'm on the call with you. We have a great relationship, and right. I think college coaches, I talked to a coach at East Tennessee State. They have a kid that they've already signed that played in the Arts Classic, and the head coach was there, and he's like, I've known him since my camps when he was in middle school. So they maintain that relationship.
Right.
He probably got the bump over a player that maybe was equal talent just because of relationship with them. So
right, correct.
That's important. There's opportunities. You just got to understand, like, maybe you're not going to go to a mid-major, go to a low major. A low major, go to a B2. You got to go where you can produce. And I think that's the number one priority, where you fit and where you produce.
Right.
Obviously the financial aspect with NIL to become a player. And I think sometimes people maybe take that approach and it's not always the best either. It could be a short-term transactional deal versus maybe the long-term big picture move. So for us, we try and be an outlet for people and guide them along that. And it's for all levels. But the process is different for everybody. It's different.
Right.
I recruited this guy, right? He was at 15, not Zion Williamson that we know. Okay?
Yeah.
Where his dad he had great parenting, and as did all these guys, right? But I think everybody's process was different. And
right.
That's the best part of the journey, and enjoy that. Cherish those times in the gym, the grind of the process is.
Mm.
But I think it's important to be knowledgeable of it, so you don't get down a path that doesn't lead to the right stuff for you. So,
all right.
So the transfer portal and student athletes being older now or being able to play when they're 23, 24, 25 sometimes, excuse me, that can definitely hurt 16, 17, 18-year-olds coming out of high school. But we have a great example, even from last night, from our hometown in our high school, of a young man who went D2 for 3 years. And he did so well that now he's playing at D1 at East Carolina University. And he starts.
Well, who is it, Chris?
Game last night against Temple, and they lost. But it's not always where you start; it's how you finish. And nowadays, if it's going to be harder for you to get on at some of these bigger schools or colleges you think you should go to, when kids are already playing 3, 4, 5 years and they just have an upper edge on you, then do what you got to do. Like you said, recruit who can recruit you. Make sure you get your foot in the door, and your game will speak for yourself once you're there.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, and who's the player you mentioned at East Carolina?
His name is Dimitri Gardner.
Okay, so Dimitri Gardner is a straight bucket. Okay, and he didn't know why he wasn't getting recruited either. Okay,
Right.
And I kept telling him to keep doing what you're doing, and those players eventually find themselves a home. And so
You're familiar with him, right?
Very, very much so. Played in our Virginia Beach events. I know his game very well. I know his process. Okay, and
Right.
we had talked about it. I just feel like players, but he stuck to the course of, he knew what the table was, but he handled what he could control, and that's production, and got better. College coaches want to get older now. I think that used to be a phrase that Ryan used in Wisconsin, get old and stay old. I think now that's every team, right? I think, you see maybe teams like Kentucky that are playing more freshmen. Cal used to do that, right? Coach Calipari used to do that a lot. Now he's got more of an older team. So those, teams are older now. And it's kind of like, my dad, Jeff, played at Virginia Tech, and he was talking last night. We were watching Tech play against Stanford, and some of the games, we watch games every night. We love doing that. He goes,
Right.
This reminds me when I played at Virginia Tech in the 80s. I'm going up against Louisville with 7 pros, and it's an older team. You're playing against juniors and seniors, So, for, upcoming classes, we have 40 teams this weekend in Myrtle Beach at our prep event. And the prep side of things is becoming more popular. Getting that extra year is
Correct.
extremely valuable. As you know, Chris, you're going to Fort Union next year. Bob Williams, Fort Union, that's one of the premier post-grad programs in the country. That extra year is extremely valuable. Get stronger, improve your game, improve your weaknesses, double down on your strengths, and it gives you every opportunity to get to the next level and produce, and then make your climb like Dimitri did, or be productive and stay where you're at.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people sleep on the post-grad route, prep school thing.
Yeah, Fort Union,
Because Chris, who else from our local area went up down the road to Massanutten? He played for Sharando, and now he's at Ole Miss, I believe. I can't remember the kid's name, but yeah, another local kid took the prep route, and he didn't even start. And he got recruited by Ole Miss, and that's where he's at now. 1 year at Massanutten Military School, and ended up Ole Miss at SEC. So.
Yeah, everybody's journey is different. I've been doing the prep events for about 8 years now, and it's great. I look at guys like Carson Cooper, who plays at Michigan State. Carson came to our prep nationals event first week in March, had no offers, and now he's starting to Digital the last 2 years.
Right.
It's just how it works, but I think, there's run your race, as Chris, you mentioned, and control what you can control, and that's getting better every day, both on the court, in the classroom, and with character, and I think that gives you the best shot to achieve your goals.
Right.
Yeah,
I totally. It can get frustrating, of course, as being a parent, or even a coach. But it's like you said, it's just patience is the first. You got to be patient with the process. So I totally agree.
Tony, I grew up and used to go to Oak Hill games all the time, we always dreamed about playing them, but we knew we would never play them. I went to Hanley. I was like, we would never play them. They would have beat us by 100.
I think when we was in school, they had Carmelo Anthony and all this.
No, we're older than Carmelo and them.
Oh, well,
But
yeah,
they
a little
had
bit.
everybody always. And
Yeah.
Steve Smith was their coach at the time,
Right.
and he had the best players throughout the country. And I'd like to know your take, Kevin. Now a lot of these players are no longer going to some of those schools, especially Oak Hill, who used to be the premier team in the country, and now they're going to the IMGs and Mount Verdes and all these schools in Florida. Is it because of the weather, or what's the change in everybody starting to the South now? They're smarter.
More schools, in my opinion.
You know what? I think the weather definitely contributes to it. But no, I think, truthfully, I think that some of those programs, the resources they have are outstanding. Right? I think Oak Hill was one of a kind at one point, and Steve Smith's a legend. You know, I think he has a lot of talent, but I also think coaching that talent and handling maybe some of the egos and all that is not always easy, and not everybody can do that. But as the programs have kind of followed that mold of what Steve Smith built at Oak Hill, I think now there's a lot more schools. I was talking to a high-profile program today, and you know, there's a lot more schools now in Florida than there were even 3 or 4 years ago. Like, moved from Napa Valley to, you know, Florida. You got, you know, IMGs down there doing what they're doing, Mount Bird, but there's other ones popping up on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's the hotbed now.
It's a hotbed, but I think in saying that, some of the players may want to go back to doing the old school thing, like a Huntington Prep or an Oak Hill, or a route that may be a little bit different, especially if you get opportunity. You know, I think it's important to go where you can play. But I also think you can also achieve what you're trying to achieve where you're at, right? There's North Carolina, that's one of the hottest players. Kobe Edwards is his name, and we had talks with his parents and for the years, like, hey, can he stay to those type of schools? And I thought last year would have been great for him to stay where he's at, because he became the man. And now, as he goes into his senior year, he stayed the course, and he put on a show at the John Wall. You know, they won the tournament, and he was the MVP, and now he's real as a recruitment as well. So we'll see what happens next. But I think he's one that locally, instead of taking the route of going to one of those schools, and it's going to work out for him. So everybody's different in that way. Some struggle with making an adjustment, and I hate to see when it doesn't work, you know, because if they stayed right where they were, they probably would have got the same recruitment as they would have if they went somewhere else, and probably maybe improved just as much too, from a confidence standpoint. So, you know, I think it's just interesting. There's a lot more schools out there now, Chris. That's
that's
so
my
different.
answer.
When I look at all these schools, and I'm like, what happened to them? Like, even my shirt, St. James, which is in Maryland,
there you
they're
go.
not what they used to be.
The days of Greg.
And then, like, I grew up on Stu Vetter when he was
Greg,
he had all the greats.
Golden Brothers with Rising Stars kids.
Like, he coached Jason Cape on all of them at St. John's Prospect Hall. He had Kevin Durant and them over there at all these different schools. But now they don't seem to stay in the DMV area. Even I live here in Brooklyn, and there's not as much talent up here as there used to be. There's so many kids, so there's talent, but it seems like they're more in the other parts of the country than DMV and New York City.
You know, it's spread. I think it's great to see, like, Jordan Smith has been an absolute dog, right? Like, he's at Paul VI, Glenn Ferrello's developed unbelievable from there. And it's cool to see guys stick it out with certain programs, you know, because I know in today's climate they can get enticed by various things, not just weather. So it's great to see guys stick it out, you know, in their roots where they started, and they keep it growing. And I think they build that culture where they can go back 20 years from now and say, hey, man, remember that run we had at, you know, Paula 6 or various high schools that they've been at for many years.
Right,
Paul the 6, and I'm pretty sure you know then Christian had a chance to go there. He didn't go, and I took it as a good and a bad. Of course, I get it. The camaraderie, growing up with your brothers and playing throughout middle and high school, you want to win, and they've been close enough and haven't, so I get that part. But I think for his basketball part, he might not have played as much being on a team where there's kids just as good, if not better, all over the court. But every day against them in practice and the tournaments and the competition they play, I thought that would have been better for him. But what's your kind of take on that? Because you just said something about sticking with somebody too. So that's kind of the other side of it.
Right, yeah, good.
I think playing against top-level competition is a huge, advantage, especially as you get to the college ranks. That speeds your process up. So, you're being challenged every single day and shooting drills and defensively, offensively, weight room. Just the mindset of being around other high-profile players raises your game. I've seen that.
Right.
King Gibson, now at Spire. King was in North Carolina, went down to Montverde mid-season. And sometimes when players are younger, I think that transition may be challenging, especially if they're like freshmen and sophomores going to those high-profile programs. But now for him, he was a top 10 player anyways at that point, but he's really playing to that level every single night out. So being with guys like Kevin Boyle, the standard he holds you to, no matter who you are, what star you have next to your name, and make them better for the next level, not just now. So I think that part of the exposure piece is great, because they get to see maybe everybody's best shot every night, kind of like a Duke does. And so it raises your game, no matter who's in the gym, who's watching. I think you have to always be at your best. So that's the advantage of going to a place like that. But, I've seen it work both ways.
Meach, Dimitri Gardner, we just mentioned. Yeah, so.
But that's a high school thing. Like, he stayed at Hanley and then went on.
But
you know what I mean? I would love for Hanley to win and see Christian be one of the catalysts to help. But I really thought he should have went to Paul VI, because I'm just like, you're not going to play that competition. Our area has no good competition, really. And then you step out and you can't really play them until you're in states or you're in an Arby's Classic or something like that. So that was my take. I was trying to tell him, I'm like, Christian, I think you should go to Paul VI, but I understand if you don't. But
Chris, I know what you're saying, and Kevin and I agree with you too. Yeah, it's who you're around, the team itself, because you're going to step everybody's a dog. That at least they go to a private school, what typically they are, and being in public school, it's like who's really challenging you. You might. Speaking of Christian, since we're on, who's really challenging him at practice, like trying to lift his game up, it starts there. But also to me, it's coaching too. Coaches have to be a big part of it too in the recruiting process. Like, I think Zach does a great job of it. Like, he's built something, even though our local area isn't, the bet, but he's put like Denby on the schedule, played Oak Hill, so he challenges these kids, to make them better and level up. So, to me, also, public, private, whatever, it depends on the coaching as well. The school, what are you doing to try to help these kids and make them better?
I agree 100%. Like, talking about the Arby's Ridgeview won it, I think Josh Staley is as good of a coach as there is. He's as good as the UYBL coaches. Just to operate how they operate from warm-ups to pre-game, post-game interaction, adapting during the game. So I think you're right. Coaching and Zach's done a great job. I think some programs allow you to develop and work through mistakes more than others do. When you get to a certain point, like if your game's still developing, you may have a sort of leash on certain, teams based on playing through mistakes. So I do think that's something that's important in where you're at if you're one of those developing players. So it just depends on the player, the mindset, the maturity level of the player. As these players are starting to move around a little bit more, when you leave South Carolina and go to Dallas, Texas, I think that transition may be a lot of 16, 17-year-old player if they're still in those developing stages.
Correct. So I got a few other questions, like big topics here. So Haley, remember, in Oak Hill, it was Oak Hill, held the ball, shot clock. You know what I'm getting? For what? It was like 2 minutes to the end of the half, right? People were actually booing, this, that. So the big topic past couple weeks is, does Virginia need a shot clock in high school? Absolutely. What's your thought?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think shot clock will run shot clock all weekend. It was a discussion there. That was an association turn the shot clock down. We apparently had put the request in for shot clock at Arby's. But I think that shot clock changes games late. I think knowing time and score, it becomes a factor. And obviously if you're down, it can help bring you back. So it doesn't. We were hoping, I guess, when I recognized we wouldn't have shot clock at the Arby's, that nobody would hold the team that was holding at that point in that game. But John Zebo does an outstanding job with his program there. And, the shot clock's important. I think it's much needed at all levels. You're going to play with it at the collegiate level, so might as well adapt to it.
Get them.
Yep.
Get them ready. Yep, adapt to that shot. Yeah, that shot clock, and it develops awareness. And the one thing I heard, like my oldest son, when he was going to go to Mass Nothing, that came up because the shot clock and the head coach there was telling him, it's like you got to look for your shot because the shot clock's running. Yeah, so and forces kids now. It's like ones that won't shoot typically, I guess, but take the open shot when you got it. Because of the shot clock itself. So it changes the game in certain aspects, a lot.
Yeah.
So
especially time and score late. Watching the game last night, I went to the shot up 4 with 12-13 on the shot clock, and the other team goes down, hits the 3, cuts it to 1. They turn it over, miss a free throw. Okay, that happened last night. All right.
Right.
It was time and score a little bit. I think if they could have held the ball, Tech would have probably held the ball out the whole time if there's no shot clock. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I mean, I get it. It's
a stall game.
I don't like it, but it's strategy. I mean, hey, if you can do it, why?
I mean, Hanley could have been Roanoke Catholic if they would have done it in the fourth quarter. But I used to just hate it when I was young, and the coach would be like, "Get out there and run stall games." I'm like, just passing the ball, and nobody can do anything about it unless they still. And I was like, what is this? And as this was 97, 98, 99, and I'm like, why don't we have a shot clock? And they still don't, and it's almost 30 years later.
Funny, growing up, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, we didn't have shot clock in high school, and I was always the guy that we ran a stall game, we double up, I'd be the one trying to go score every time, right? I decided I wanted to keep playing.
Right.
Four-quarter teams that you play against, it's not fun to defend or watch. Right? Nobody wants to watch you.
Right.
Nationally would be great. I know it's on the event side and operating, I'm sure it's an added expense, but overall, long-term, it's a much better brand of basketball.
But that's my question, though. We have a play clock in high school football. They have a clock on the field, right? Beside their game clock, play clock. So what's the difference? My question: what's the difference? You always hear, it's this an extra expense. How much is it really to add a shot clock? Honestly, let's be honest. Let's keep it real.
A lot of good clock operators can manually do both.
Correct.
Those are a lot of operators we have. They do both. I think just obviously from the school aspect, I think that would be an association ad to have at the venue. But again, it's a much better brand of basketball to watch, to play, and long term, they're going to play with the clock. So I'm all about it.
Right.
Do you play in the Big Shots events? Are they allowed to use the shot clock or no?
We do for the preps. Every prep event we have, high school event, we do shot clock.
Oh, okay. See, now you got to add it to the other my groups. I put it in there. Every group.
But the thing is, if they're not ever playing and practicing like that, they're going to get whooped by a team that's used to it.
Well, then you got to practice like that, though. If you know.
And I think the time's different too. So some people play a 24-second shot clock, which is very quick. That's
right. Because isn't it 30?
35 is the
30.
National High School Federation.
Right.
Which, truthfully, throughout a game, there's very few shot clock violations, but it does tighten up the game late. I think that's where it could be crucial.
Yeah. Crucial things like that.
So, I think that's just an easy way of adjusting to that. Getting the ball down, getting into a set, and having some time. Operate.
Right. Correct. Well, C. Russell joined us. If you know who C. Russell is, legend Slippery Rock. Well,
he's
chiming and watching. Yeah, he is. But so all right, talk about shot clock. I swear I had another question, Kevin. I wanted to really ask.
Well,
I can't.
did your dad play with Bo Kimball?
Oh, with Kimbo Cole.
Oh yeah. My fault. Yeah, Kimbo Cole.
So Del Curry came in the year after my dad left. So he was 79, 82, and Del came in the following year and replaced him. So I always tell him he was the second best shooter. He could really shoot.
Your pops just before he got there.
Yeah, just before. But our families are real tight with the Currys. Just my grandfather Bob was on staff with Charlie Moyer during that time for 7 years and recruited Del. So it was, it's cool to see what his family's done over the course of time. But they played in our events early on, and then now they're obviously legends of the game.
Right.
Well,
yeah, I wanted to get your dad on. Yeah. That guy can talk.
You know what? He loves people. He loves talking hoops, and he's always at the events, and he'll talk to you as long as you want to talk.
I say that's what I love about it feels like a family environment because, like you said, there's always a Schneider at a Big Shots tournament. So good people. Yeah,
it takes pride in that aspect of it, and again, doing it now 21 years, it's something that we love this. I mean, it's what we love to do. We do it every day. We are always watching players of all levels, and here to help be an outlet for parents as well. On giving them guidance along the process, and we look forward to seeing these teams here as we crank it up here in March.
Right. So it won't keep you too much longer. I know big games coming on if it hadn't already started already. Miami and Ole Miss. But I got one question. A fan actually.
Kev, we about basketball over here.
Hold on, but I'm getting to that. Hold on. Right. Well, I got a question though. One of the fans want to know: what do y'all think of the Trae Young trade? He wants our opinions on that.
Got him. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? Is going young. I mean, it's great. They got Bub Carrington. I thought Bub would be in the transaction. He wasn't, which is great. I think he got a bright future. Trae Young. I lived in DC for 5 years, so I still kind of root for the Wizards in that way. They haven't really been much since John Wall was there. And,
correct.
Love to see them get back to doing what they're doing and making the playoffs. But yeah, these guys, Trae Young. I know who knows what's going to happen with some of these trades. You hear John Morant's name, you hear Lonzo Ball. Some of these guys moving. I heard AD's on the move again, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah.
As great of a talent as he is, man, I'm not sure who wants him.
Who, AD?
It's just because, it's scary. He doesn't play enough. His talent-wise, he's one of the greatest I've ever seen for his physique and his size, but he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
But Trae on the other side, Kev, he's only 27, and your NBA prime is pretty much 27 to 32.
Yeah, one of the guys that is playing in our event this weekend is Brandon Payne. He's trained for 18 years, and he's taking on Trae Young as one of his next guys, and I think it's going to be good for him. Brandon's extremely knowledgeable, obviously shooting. He trains him as well as Caitlin Clark and Sabrina, so he's kind of on all sides. But I think Trae is put up some huge numbers. And he's had moments like in the Garden, doing the chills and all the stuff.
Right.
Maybe just needs a fresh start. And hopefully DC can provide him that, this next chapter. Because you're right, he's still young, got a lot of years under his belt so far, but a lot more to come.
Right.
And Tony, like we always say, it's not where you started; it's how you finish.
Correct. Yeah.
Look at the draft with Luka and Trae, and they got traded for each other that night.
Right.
They're not there anymore. Neither one of them. And Luka,
a lot of people forget about that.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think the league's changed, man. OKC winning this year, I think, gave a lot of teams hope where you build it, how teams are going to develop. And I think you see a lot of franchises kind of starting fresh and trying to develop that. Like Portland's obviously, got some young talent that's The Hornets are trying to do that, but there's some that are just, it's taking a lot longer. But
Right.
OKC was that way. I was out there for a conference watching them both nights, and I was watching. And I'm like, there's not 5 guys in the league better than this guy, And this was when they were 30 and 55. They weren't very good.
Right.
But they stuck to that core group, and now they're in bands. It takes some time, but I'm happy for the Wizards to get a guy like Trae Young.
Yeah, we will have to go out to games now. Like C just says, like he's going to fill the arena now. Him being
coming into his own. Yeah, that's a good young part. And then maybe what's his name, Bub Carrington or whatever. He's pretty good.
Yeah, Bub's good, and he's been around the game a lot. His dad was a legend at our events, running Baltimore Elite, and so great that he's he's homegrown right there in the DMV, and he and Trey could be dynamic for years to come.
Right. Well, Kevin, like I said, won't hold you too much longer. Could you let people know, how to contact you guys? I guess, because you say you help with recruiting and stuff like that. Because you guys start helping me now. but yeah, just let people know your info. How they can contact you, I guess. And
yeah, you can follow us on social media at Big Shots Global on X, Big Shots Nation on IG. BigShots.net is our website. Has a ton of information there. We have rankings on the website, our upcoming events, as well as our contact information. Reach out anytime. We're here to be an outlet to you, and make sure you think big and play big.
What's your next event?
This weekend starts tomorrow, 4 o'clock, right here in Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
We got a prep event. 40 teams coming to town. Really excited to host teams from 10 different states as far as California, and I turn out of college coaches, so we're excited about the weekend. And then we tip off we'll do a prep nationals with 128 high school teams at the end of February in Rock Hill, and then we'll get on in March with the circuit. So
I love that facility down in Rock Hill. My parents love going to, that's a great spot down there. And shoot, I think John Morant and stuff has showed up to some of the event. A few like Derrick Rose and stuff, I think down there. Yeah. Come out. Mm-hmm.
Great venues, and we really try and get into those venues in various places around the country. And I think the venues popping up, there's more coming. I think Williamsburg is one that will be there often.
Yeah, your dad told me that. But that Richmond complex, that Henrico Sports Complex is real nice too. They built
great 12-court venue. So these cities are really jumping into the sports, economic side and youth sports. Bringing that to their city. So it's really helping, events and players, because you're having the best venues coming to your region, and that only helps the overall process.
Correct. Well, Kevin, hey, man, enjoyed having you on and your knowledge and giving some insight on AAU and all that stuff, and the high school kids. But hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. Love what you're doing, and I'll see you soon.
Appreciate you having me on, and glad to hop on anytime with you, and appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Hey, I'm taking the U tonight, though, by the way.
Me, unfortunately, too. I think they're going to pull it. I'm a UVA fan, but I got to get.
Who's Miami playing?
They got Ole Miss tonight.
Ole Miss.
Well, yeah, I'll pick Miami, but I'm still picking Indiana to win it all.
Yeah.
There's a kid from our high school that played basketball and stuff and football with Beach too, so we're going for Indiana.
Like
Stephen Daly, if you heard of him, the plays for he Hanley alum, went to Hanley. Yeah. So, All right.
But yeah, we appreciate it, man. A lot of knowledge, a lot of stuff you do for the kids, the whole community of basketball as a whole, man, and we appreciate it, and definitely for you taking the time to let Hanley and them playing some of your bigger events. That's cool, man.
No doubt, love having them. First class program, and wishing them the best on another run here. I think they'll be in the hunt come that time in March in Richmond. So looking forward to that day.
All right, Kevin. We appreciate you. All right, Kevin. Well, Chris, there was Kevin Schneider. Man, a lot of insight there. Hey, you get a lot of your questions answered, Chris, now?
Yeah, but you got some people coming in. I can't read all of them except for.
Oh, no, they're going so fast. Hey, hold on. We got you got Lakers tickets. Hook me up.
Who's got Lakers tickets?
Lakers and Wizards? Calvin? Yeah, hook me up, man. I ain't ever seen my Lakers. Almost went. No, never seen them.
Man,
I've been to two pro. I know. I do.
I've seen them play. Well, I never seen them with Magic, but definitely with Kobe and all them play. I had to go see Kobe, and then of course I've seen them with Ron and all them. But yeah, man,
I went my two pro.
We can go, but I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, because they know it's probably LeBron's last season. Tickets like $600 for the nosebleeds for LeBron when they come here. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
I'm not going.
Well, see, remember because we had Kobe and all that. And when he come to what, man, the tickets were outrageous. Yeah, it just depends on who they're playing. But
now the Wizards tickets are going to go up now. Just a heads up.
Oh.
They won't be like up here, but they're going to go up because you got a better player now.
Yeah, that's true. They're going to go up.
I can't believe Atlanta did that. I know they want to dump money and this and that, but I'm not giving away one.
Who did they get? Who did they give in the trade?
TJ McCullough, who's playing well right now, but he's got an expiring contract, and then Corey Kispert or whatever. I'm like, dude. That's a wild trade. He can shoot, but ain't what the hell? Trey Young, point guards. Besides, he can't play defense. Okay, so get a bunch of players that can play defense.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
that's wild. But big ups to the Wizards, man, because they hosed Atlanta. That was wild.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, man, it's like, come on now, Atlanta. Jeez. Well, unless they just wanted to cut ties and just took what they could get. I mean, who knows? But what it is. I mean. It's rigged according to you, right?
Right. All of it. All the pro sports is rigged now, man. Too much money in Vegas and people's hands and that shit. So they make calls. You see referees changing shit, players throwing the ball away on purpose. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Right. Well, that's a whole other topic, Chris, for another night. But we'll jump off here, Chris. We'll go watch this college football game. And great episode. And everybody, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, all those platforms. But everybody, thanks for tuning in. And we're going to be working on a few other big guests. But we'll just keep it as private. We'll keep it under wraps. But big announcements. Hopefully bigger and better. So everybody, hey, thanks for tuning in, and check us out next Thursday at 7 p.m. again. All right, everybody, have a great night and enjoy the football game tonight. All right, Chris.